Hello guys, welcome back to another session of Carnivore Muscle Ramblings. Myself, Jonathan, aka Carnivore Muscle, aka Composition Consultant. Joining you today from sunny England in Bournemouth. This is session number 83. Today we're going to be talking about fat loss on the carnivore diet. And it's a little Q&A for my members only, so I appreciate you guys joining in today from wherever you are to talk about all things body composition related to building muscle, losing fat on the carnivore diet. Please get your questions in early and leave a queue before the questions so I can address them in the chat. This will be a short one today, guys, so please get the questions in sooner rather than later. Anyway, I'm going to go through some current things right now regarding my training, if I can find the things. So you guys are obviously quite concerned about what my training is at the moment, how I'm doing. Things are going quite well. So we've adjusted a lot of my training metrics, my training performance even, my programming. So it means now I'm actually doing virtually no warm-up sets in the gym. One for a few things which might be a bit iffy in terms of being able to perform them safely. So for me it means I might be doing a horizontal row with the machine. Might do one warm-up with that one. Maybe a calf raise. My calves are very strong. I have to use a very big weight. So I'll do a warm-up with those just to pre-exhaust. I'll also do warm-ups for hamstrings and maybe a little bit for shoulders as well. I don't need a lot of warm-ups, just enough to sort of lubricate the joints, get my mind into the muscle and begin to progress from there. I'm going to quickly pull up the screen if I can and find out what I'm doing right now in the gym. So this is my training model as of right now. So as you can see here, this is session number 1, which is in the gym. I have a 4-way split, quite an advanced split. Just this is basically what I'm doing. Ignore the tempos, they've all changed now because it's not safe for me to train that way at all. The reps I tend to hit in the low end because I do a lot of time to tension stuff. But the sets are what the set says, so I do 2 sets for that, 1 for that, 2 for that, 1 for that, 2 for that. Warm-ups, a couple, maybe 1 or 2 out of all of these, if that. Like I said, just to lubricate the joints. Session number 2. This is my only intensifier of the week, which is on the machine lateral raise, which includes 2 rest pauses for the 2 sets that I am doing in the gym. That also include 1 warm-up set. This is more of a pull-based workout, so it's kind of like pull slash side delts slash calves. Works quite well. Calves I get tagged along here. It's pretty easy for me to do, so it doesn't really matter where you do calves, to be honest. Largely speaking, for some people it does, but for me not so much. Just need to do 2 sets, which is all I do per week, actually, believe it or not. Next, training session number 3. As you can see here, it is a tricep movement, kind of a bit of a way of getting a bit more volume in, or a bit more frequency for triceps. I need to develop my triceps more, so there's a bit more there. That one does include 1 of those warm-up sets and 2 straight sets. As you can see here, guys, I'm just doing 1 straight set pretty much for each of these movements at this point in time. Shake off a bit of fatigue. I've been dieting extremely hard for the past, I don't know, 3 months or something, and it's working really well. So yeah, out of all of this, I'm probably doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, 9, or maybe up to 10 total sets, including the warm-ups. So it's actually quite a normal training volume for me, so I quite enjoy this sort of training. It's not too many warm-ups, not too much doing extra stuff, you know. So it's working out quite well. This one is more of a mixed upper lower sort of day minus push. So it's a pull down, lower back, another pull down movement, lying leg curl. That one I'm doing very light at the moment, guys. I'm using like 1.5 plates, if that. Adds a bit more frequency, a bit more training volume to my hamstrings. I'm finding with the nerve damage, it's tricky to train hamstrings, at least hard and heavy for some movements. So I'm doing this more as a isolation, relearn the movement, mind the muscle, pump, get some blood flowing around kind of thing. When your body feels like glass, like mine does right now, it's very normal to have to adjust all your training around, but this is where it is right now. A little bit of bicep work at the end, which I really enjoy. And I actually do what you call an incline dumbbell curl. I do that leaning with my back against the Smith machine and brace my elbows or my mid upper arm on the rear arm against the bar. Then just do some dumbbell curls like that, and it works out a treat. In terms of my tracker, so what I'm doing right now, so I've been going for quite a while now, as you can see. All my weights are obviously measured in here. These are actually in kilos, guys, not pounds. No, I don't weigh 90 odd pounds. That'd be insane. I'd be like 3 foot tall. So as you can see, the weeks go on. What you'll probably notice, might be hard to tell, but a lot of these measures, these are subjective and objective performance measures, are going down quite a bit. So I started off not too bad. Did too much training. The volume was way too high, 2 times too high. So I've obviously, that's been adjusted now. Diet adherence is always 100%. Motivation is always 100%. You sort of see things get lower, average, lower, average, below average. So this is how training goes, guys. When you're low in body fat and a few weeks out for a bodybuilding competition. I'm currently 2 weeks out right now. Weights are measured every day just to get a stable idea of what's going on. The trend is important, guys. So as you can see here, average steps and weights are plugged in here. I did have quite a stall around this sort of point here. We're currently around here now, so it's quite normal. Your body gets inflamed. If I have an extra rest day, I drop weight because my body's not so sore, inflamed and full of water, which happens when you're lean. Your body's very receptive to what happens to your joints, and I feel it. My body feels inflamed at certain points. But currently now, 2 weeks out roughly, so got this much stuff left. Steps are tracked. I was away this weekend for the public health collaboration in the UK, hence why there's a lot of steps that day. Not deliberate. That was as minimal I could do. I made sure that the hotel was as near as physically possible to the venue itself that I was listening to the seminars, conferences. Yeah, just fell around 7,000 steps, which is too much for me. It's absurd amount. I think people doing 10,000 steps a day are probably forcing it, if I'm honest, or they're not wearing the tracker correctly on their wrist, unless they've got a manual physical job. They walk the dog each day, twice a day or something. I don't know how you guys are doing that many steps, but yeah, there we go. But here we go. But yeah, it's not too far now. 2 weeks left. My weight probably tomorrow will be something about 95 or a bit below, I'd assume I get some good sleep. If I don't sleep, I don't drop as much weight. You know, detoxification, all that sort of thing. It does make sense when you think about it logically. Your body does hold water quite easily when you're lean. I'd like to get down to 94 at some point. That'd be good. Nice, ballpark number, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, overall pretty good. So that's where we're at right now. If you guys have any questions, please leave a Q in the chat. But for your questions, I'll be happy to answer them and now. So this is related to any questions you have about my carnivore bodybuilding competition preparation as of right now. And yes, thank you, Rick. Remember to hit like when you went into the video so I can see what's going on. Have a nice evening. Hit like for sure. Thank you for joining, Ben. Appreciate you listening in. Nice to see you. Hi, Jonathan, the super shredded bodybuilder, and everyone watching. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm getting brain dead already. If you got any questions, guys, put them in now. Otherwise, this will be a very short stream. It will be a short stream, and I won't be answering questions when I say this is the end of the stream. So please get them in sooner rather than later. Oh, here we go. So what are your thoughts on drop sets versus rest pause sets? You've asked me this before, and I've answered it before. And there should be a video on my YouTube channel which talks specifically about it. It was actually a segment that Jerome and I did talking about rest pause sets versus drop sets. Drop sets I don't like as much because there's more variables to go wrong. It's hard to manage, hard to measure, because if you're switching the weight on the stack, or you have to stand up, pull a plate off, it's a bit more awkward. It takes a bit more time. You can't standardize the seconds between the rest pause sets or the drop sets in a lot of cases. So is it 5-second drop set, or is it a 10-second drop set? 15 seconds? Is someone in the way when you're trying to remove the weight? All these things come into it, so it's a bit hard to manage in that sense. I personally prefer rest pause sets just because you're locked in, loaded, ready to go. I'm already thinking about the next rest pause set when I actually started it. So that's very normal for me. So I actually prefer rest pause sets. Drop sets do have some utility. They're probably more useful if you're being spotted and someone can hand you the weights or adjust the weights for you. So that's personally what I'd look at there in that kind of instance. But yeah, that's my take on the rest pause versus drop sets. I think they both work. It's just one works for me a bit better, which I quite enjoy. And yeah, when it comes to rest pause sets as well, I'll say you do have to time the seconds between sets. So for me, I always say 10 seconds is a good amount. Gives you long enough to actually rest the muscles a little bit, get some oxygen back in you. Also not so long that you're completely ruining the time detention element of it, the metabolic byproduct fatigue build up, which has some element of importance in terms of building muscular hypertrophy. So that's pretty much it when it comes to rest pause sets, I think. But if you've got any questions related to that, please let me know in the chat. Do you think stretching is beneficial between workout days? Yes, I think it's helpful for being flexible and mobile. The thing is about training does actually train your flexibility and mobility, assuming you use full range of motion. I'd use stretching as an adjunct to training in order to improve the mind-muscle connection, the ability to recover, the ability to continue to move through your development phase of building muscle without actually having to sort of get tight muscle fibers. Now, these bodybuilders, they don't stretch. It's hard for them to stretch. It's exhausting for them to stretch, these big guys. So a lot of them don't do it, and that's why they're not very mobile. So I'd say adding in some stretching is probably useful. Stretching, as I've always said, minimum 30 seconds per stretch, static hold in a fixed position. You can use other muscle groups to like pull yourself a bit further in if you have to or if you need to. You can even use some resistance equipment to actually stretch as well. Perhaps you use a dip, maybe you go and do a pull down, you hang off chin up bar with your arms, something like that. Monkey grip, pull apart the lats a little bit. I think it's pretty helpful, so I'd certainly look at doing that for your workout day, rest days even. So I think it's beneficial. Do I do it myself? Slightly, just for my glutes and my hamstrings. I need to do more for my quads, but it's a tricky one to stretch for me, guys. It really is. I can do it on the bed some mornings, but I don't always do it, if I'm honest. So that's my caveat, my honest opinion on stretching. Do I do it? I do some element of it, yeah, but not as much as I should or could, I don't think. It does cause me pain sometimes when I do it. I'd say more often than not, I walk away with more pain for doing inappropriate stretches. It just turns out most stretches are inappropriate for me with my joints the way they are. So that's my honest feedback. You look great, mate. Keep going. I'm getting there. I'm as flat as I could possibly be right now. As depleted as be. Just kind of see my face. I'm struggling to like. Yeah, I'm sweaty, guys, but you know it is hot here, and I've been working hard today. So yeah, my face is very sunken in. You kind of see the definition in my shoulders and all that sort of thing, like poking through a little bit. I'm not doing posing, guys, it's cringy online, but yeah, I am getting very, very lean. There'll be an update on my Instagram, which I always post, and hopefully my YouTube channel, my community section on Friday morning, which I have been updating every week for the past 7 or 8 weeks, I believe. Then my progress shots on my flattest, weakest and most depleted and dehydrated and drained possible look. So what you see is the worst I've looked all week at that point. So it's a very honest check-in. There's no adulterations, these progress photos, guys. I don't do anything to tweak it or anything like that. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for those. I'd like to think by Friday I'd be around about 94.5 kilos, something like that, which is extremely light. For a point of reference, last time I competed on stage I was 98 kilograms, so I'm quite a bit lighter than what I was the last time I competed. Number of reasons: I'm a lot stricter on the carnivore diet. I'd say I'm a bit less inflamed in some cases. The supplement use is quite helpful. I'm more targeted now. I've learned a lot about my body. Shifting inflammation for me is hard work. Some days I'm like, I could really take like 4 or 5 days off the gym. Not because I don't love the gym. I love the gym, guys. Always enjoy the gym. But training when you're inflamed, sore, muscle tight is hard work. All my muscles feel like glass. You know, when you're training in the gym and you're sort of doing maybe like an incline chest press, everything pumps up. For me now, nothing really pumps up. You get some sort of cell swelling, but it's not a pump, guys. You don't feel like you've had a really good session. You know, when you see Arnold in this pumping iron videos, you sort of see him get like, you know, and it's not like that at all. You go to the gym depleted, deflated. You come back from the gym, you're depleted and deflated. So it's very, 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 very normal. But yeah, the game plan is just keep flattening me out until I'm shredded out of my mind. But as you can see, the leanness is certainly there. The lighting doesn't really show it too well, obviously, because I'm sat in a weird light, but there we go. Hard to imagine being hot that far north, but yes, you are leaner than me. Yeah, it's boiling. It's baking, guys. Absolutely baking. How do you track the steps? I use the health app on my phone and make sure it's on airplane mode to reduce MEF exposure. I use my phone. I put it in my pocket. I don't track steps on the elliptical machine. I count that as separate cardiovascular activity. But yeah, that's pretty much what I use. My phone works well. A lot more accurate than these watches people wear. If you wear a watch, guys, you're tracking steps. It's over counting it. I don't care what settings you put on there. I've met loads of people that are like, oh yeah, I do 20,000 steps a day. And I'd be like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a hairdresser. Okay, your arm's like that all day, like shaking around. So no wonder why you're sort of hitting at 20,000 steps. But yeah, I mean, if I included an elliptical machine in my steps, it'd probably be 10,000 steps. But it's as low impact as I can get it. How safely can I get some movement in and standardize it so I keep every single day about the same? So I do try to keep my step count as similar as possible. So I'm managing the variables, managing my output expenditure, so I can best monitor and actively engage myself appropriately to reduce inflammation with the correct intervention needed, such as different rest protocols, different training methodologies, different amounts of intensity level, different recoveries, you know, cold baths on certain days, things like that. That's pretty much it. So it's been a useful tool. I think step tracking is much more important when you're actually lean or very lean. Largely speaking, I think it's an additional stress most people probably don't need, unless, for example, they are 400 pounds morbidly obese, and if it means it gets them out of the house for an extra walk each day outside in the sun, yeah, it's useful. But I think I wouldn't try to force steps, guys. Just try to force the training sessions that you enjoy, that are safe for you, and track more of those things. I think they're more important personally. But yeah, if you're trying to get shredded out of your mind, it's going to be a bit better to manage as much as possible. I've devoted a lot of time, energy and money into being as successful as possible on the competition stage in 2 weeks time, and it's been very arduous. I've left no stone unturned. I've not been able to work any harder than I have. If I worked any harder, I would be in hospital right now. So I can say it wholeheartedly. There's nothing more I could do to be in better shape than what I'm in right now, at all. Besides not eat, but that would mean I couldn't train, which means I wouldn't be able to retain muscle, which means I wouldn't look like a bodybuilder. I'd look like a swimmer. So there we go. But yeah, hopefully that's been a bit of insightful to you. Come on, guys, you're letting the team down. Matthew's the only one here asking good questions. So we've got quite a few viewers here, but yeah, and Ben, look forward to chatting with you soon. I've got a competition in 2 weeks' time, so you won't be able to book in the following weekend, but I'd look at booking that in sooner rather than later if you're keen. Otherwise, it may have to wait until the next weekend. I think the second week of June perhaps might have to. But yeah, just let me know. You know my schedule. You've seen what's going on. But yeah, all good. I'm just gonna check something. There's something I need to quickly show you. I'm just gonna pause this video just for a quick ad break, if that's all right. Check out my site at competitionconsultant.com, where your journey to peak performance and optimal health begins. With a degree in human nutrition and over 15 years of training experience, I've guided more than 400 carnivores to not just meet, but exceed their physique and performance goals. free personalised consultations, comprehensive ebooks and dedicated coaching. I'm here to ensure your success. Join the ranks of those who have transformed their lives. It's time to align your physique goals with positive health outcomes. Visit compositionconsultant.com today and take the first step towards the best version of you. There we go, guys. Check it out if you haven't already. I've picked up a lot of coaching clients recently. I've currently got 3 spaces left, and that does include the new basic coaching package, which I have offered out to everyone. So I'd get in there sooner rather than later. These have been going like mad. Every week for the past few weeks I've been picking up 2 or 3 clients, and I'm at nearly full capacity. So if you're on the fence right now, I'd book in sooner rather than later for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. So unless you've got any more questions, I'll stick around for another couple of minutes. Feel free to ask anything you like in regards to training, fat loss, that sort of thing. Just remember, guys, it is a live Q&A. It's not a Q&A after the fact. As you guys know, I don't answer questions on my YouTube channel and spend 10 plus hours anymore answering questions for free, consulting with everyone for free, or going through emails, responding to everyone, trying to help everyone out all the time for free. I do a lot, guys, to promote the carnivore diet, to promote proper human diet, and help people out as much as possible with the time and energy that I do have available right now. So yeah, happy your coaching is becoming more popular. You're the best. I'm not the best. I'm definitely not. There's probably someone better out there than me. There's got to be. There has to be. That keeps me motivated to keep learning more, to keep getting better, keep educating myself, because I did go to the Public Health Collaboration UK seminar conference in London this past weekend. So for 3 days pretty much, and yeah, I learned a couple of things, met some people, did some networking, met Dr. Anthony Chafee, met Eddie Abu, people like that. That was pretty good fun. And yeah, they actually served my favourite dish, or favourite meal, which was smoked duck breast for a starter, and beef brisket. They named it feather-blade beef, but it was beef brisket, guys. It was brisket of beef for dinner, which was really nice. I had loads of salt, loads of beef, which me and the guys wolfed down from Carnivore Team GB, and also, what else did I have? I think that was it. Yeah, no butter on my steak, no butter on my duck. So, you know, I'm quite used to it now, eating so lean. My body doesn't seem to struggle too much of it. So there we go. Macros are still the same: 350 protein, 120 fat. I had one higher day this weekend, which was 50 grams extra fat. Carbs are actually, I think, below 30 grams now. So the carbs I am getting each day are predominantly, I think, from the looks of it, from decaf or caffeinated coffee. Who would have known caffeine has carbohydrates in it? So if anyone's saying, "Oh, I follow a zero carb diet and I do Lion diet and I have caffeine," people do it the one. It's none of my business. You know, do what you need to do. If you enjoy it, and it makes you feel good, fine. But my point is, coffee does have an amount of carbohydrates in it. I believe 2 grams is something like so a small cup of coffee. There's like 1.5 grams of carbohydrates in it, or something like that. That's where I get most of my carbs from now. But yeah, so it's funny that. I stretch my back and lower back regularly as the left side of my lower back plays up if I don't, due to walking poorly, bad knee. Yes, makes sense. Mentioned you enjoyed your duck. Was it roasted with crisp skin? There's no skin on it. It was a duck breast fillet. So there we go. But the fat was like melting off. Like when I cut through it with a knife, you get that sort of like glaze on it of like oily, buttery fat from the duck breast. Oh, so good. It's smoked as well. So good. Light deadlifting. Yeah, probably gets you a bit more mobile, a bit more blood flow. A bit of proprioception, a bit of muscular feeling activation. Could well help. Maybe. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for the questions that you guys did ask. Carnivore Team GB will be tomorrow live at 7 PM UK time. Hopefully you've had a good day, a good evening. Please remember to hit like, comment, subscribe if you have not yet already. And what I'll do is I'll see you guys next week for another session of Carnivore Team GB. Talking all that same thing, answering similar or hopefully different questions in session number 84. before. Check out my site at compositionconsultant.com, where your journey to peak performance and optimal health begins. With a degree in human nutrition and over 15 years of training experience, I've guided more than 400 carnivores to not just meet, but exceed their physique and performance goals. Through personalised consultations, comprehensive ebooks and dedicated coaching, I'm here to ensure your success. Join the ranks of those who have transformed their lives. It's time to align your physique goals with positive health outcomes. Visit compositionconsultant.com today and take the first step